All right. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing out there? It is December, what is it, December 29th? December 29th. It is Sunday, and we are after the game, and we are talking about an exciting, yes, I know we're 7-9. Yes, I know we're not going to the playoffs. Yes, I know we got problems. But you know what? Folks, that's 6 out of 8 games, man. And I know it's too little too late, but I'm going to celebrate what's going on right now. And right now what you got is an Atlanta Falcon team with 6 wins out of 8, finished the year 7-9, horrific season, bad. You cannot ignore the season. You cannot ignore the first 8 games. But you know what? We showed up the last 8 for the most part and end up 7-9. Better luck next year, but you know what? Today we're going to celebrate today. Today, the Falcons in overtime, gift wrapped by Mr. Crab Legs himself, Jameis Winston, with a record-setting 30 interceptions, gives us the game, giving Debo something to ride home with, celebrating his LSU Tigers and celebrating his Atlanta Falcons with a 28-22 win. How y'all doing today? Steve and Steve's Talk and more on Facebook. Also, Steve, Sports Talk and more on the YouTube channel. Please look us up. Please subscribe. And also in the Atlanta Bird game, how is everybody doing? Listen, I know everybody wants to talk about what didn't happen or what's not going to happen tomorrow with coaching, what's not going to happen tomorrow with GMs. But I want to celebrate what we had today. Today, we won the game. Today is 28-22. That's what we're going to talk about. We'll get into the other stuff. Don't get me wrong. We're not going to avoid it like the plague. But at the same time, you celebrate a win. You get a win, you celebrate a win. Today, 28-22. Was it pretty? No. Was it was it by any means something to hang your hat on? No. But I'll take it. 28-22 in overtime. See a lot of people grinding in here. George says Crab Legs. That's right. Crab Legs gave it to us. We're going to get to him in 1 second. Alfred, what's up, Tank? Rise up, brother. That's what we do. We got to do it. It doesn't matter, dude. I know the season's over with. We're not going to be in the league with the Baltimores and the New Orleans and the Green Bays. But you know what? I celebrate wins. So when my team wins, I'm going to be here every time. James Dockery, how you doing in Atlanta Bird game? What's going on? Jalen, I'm excited to see Morris work a full season as DC. So am I. Tim McCarthy, how you doing, brother? Man, great win, but the defense wasn't looking as good as they were the past few weeks. A lot of wide open receivers. Also, Ryan was only looking at one side of the field each play. I'm going to touch on each one of them, and I'm going to challenge a little bit about your defense. Now, the run defense actually didn't play that great. I'm going to challenge a little bit on the pass coverage because there were some great catches out there today. And the one thing, and tell me if you agree with this, Tim, the one thing I will say, every time Tampa Bay was making a catch, you said wide open. I saw a lot of contested catches today. I'm not saying there weren't plays where there were wide open receivers, but it wasn't in the Trufant days where you see the wide receiver 20 yards out wide open and things like that. So I hear what you're saying, and we're going to get to that in a second. Trust me, we will. But I hear you. I hear you talking, Tim. I do hear you. Jarvis, Debo. Debo has at least one touchdown the last 3 seasons, whether it be by fumble or interception. Debo continuing to earn that contract he signed earlier this year. Lynn says, I love this. Rise up. If you weren't jumping up when Debo intercepted that ball and went into the end zone, I'm sorry, folks. Y'all might be in the wrong places. If you don't get excited about your team And I know we're 7-9. I'm not talking about that. If you don't get excited that you see your defensive guy make a pick six to end the game in overtime, I don't know. I can't tell you how to be a fan, but I can tell you what it did with me. I'm screaming all around my basement. I'm running into my son. Me and him are jumping up at each other like we just won the Super Bowl. And I know it's not, but that's what fandom is. And I'm an Atlanta Falcon fan, and judging by most of you on this site and the sites we're looking at on Steve Sports Talking More and Atlanta Bird Game, that's what we celebrate. We celebrate wins around here. Yes, we will have a whole off season to commiserate about Dan Quinn staying around, about Thomas Dimitroff being still here in charge of another draft this year. We got all year for that. But right now, I want to celebrate what we just did on the field. What we did on the field is we beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 28-22. Jameis Winston, we might have sealed his fate of getting a long-term deal. This might have been a make or break game for him. Folks, the numbers don't lie. That brother has thrown 30 touchdowns and thrown 30 interceptions. For each touchdown he's thrown, he's given one back. And today, he gave us a big one back. Thank you, Jameis. Jalen Brent said Snow Crab Winston gave us a gift. I am not joking with y'all. Not trying to claim Nostradamus. My son and I were sitting on the sofa when they got the ball. Before they went to the play, I told my son, Jameis is about to give us one. I didn't think it'd be a pick six, but I said, Jameis is about to give us one. Thank goodness he only took 3 seconds to give us the game, so we didn't have to sit there that long. Thank you, Jameis. Jarvis, I love these type of wins. Makes the team better. Dude, it does. How else do you want to go into next season? I know we've done this before. We've talked about that several times. But again, I want to go into the season. I want to leave this season with a good taste in my mouth. Yes, we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of coaching to do. And we have a lot of personnel changes to make. But today, 28-22 in overtime. Jackie, what's going on, sir? Jimmy Wayne, how you feeling? Tidy, what's going on? Tidy, you got to tell me how that make you feel, brother. Listen, we got a lot of criticism of Matt coming. And y'all know if I'm ready to criticize Matt, then y'all know it's some problems. Matt, we're going to talk about that in a second. Philip, my brother, what's going on, man? Henri, we did it. Great win. Something to look forward to for next year. Optimism as ever. That's what you have to be. Tim, I definitely agree with you. No, I hear you, Tim. And listen, and I'm not arguing with you. You're right. There were a couple of plays, but I like the growth of our defensive backs. Yeah, well, there's some plays out there for us to make. Yes, but when I look at the overall numbers, they made some big plays, but Jameis, at the end, he only ended up 13 of 24 for 201 yards. 2 touchdowns, obviously 2 interceptions. When I look at stuff like that, I'm saying to myself, yeah, 201 yards, that's pretty good. Jameis been lighting folks up. Jameis been lighting everybody up this year. Matter of fact, came to the Dome and did a number on us. So give credit where credit is due. Was it perfect? No, but it was enough, and especially the second half. They went through that second quarter where they scored all their points in the second quarter. All 22 points for Tampa Bay were scored in the second quarter. Aside of that, Falcons put goose eggs on the board. So give them a lot of credit. Gregory, you should see the faces of those Succaneer fans. Oh, man, that's one of the trips. I'm looking forward to whatever the out-of-town game is. I'm going to try my best to go out of country to that game. But I tell you what, I would have loved to be in Tampa today. Calvin, good win. Rise up, my brother. And it was a road win. Think about the road wins that we've tallied up, y'all. And I think we won every road game in the second half? We beat New Orleans, Frisco, Carolina, Tampa. So we swept the South on the road, and we And we beat San Francisco on the road. Not bad. Something to look forward to next year. Chud says exactly. Tawana, I hope that's what it is. Only touchdowns today from O-line and a linebacker. It was awesome. Hey, you take them how you can get them, Tawana. It is a win. Ken, how about that win, brother? I'll take it. Jimmy says, win or not, we have work to do. Let's see what we do in the off season. I'm trying to tell y'all, we got a lot of work to do in the off season. Listen, celebrate 24-hour rule. Any Tampa Bay fans you got, y'all run to Publix, grab you some crab legs, throw it in front of them, celebrate, do what they got to do. But we do have a lot of work to do, and we're going to have plenty of time to talk about it. Jarvis, Dirt got to go. We need something new and exciting. Macario, happy belated Christmas. Happy New Year, brother. Happy Merry Christmas to you and to all of you that I didn't get a chance to talk to. And upcoming New Year. Congrats on your win, on our win. It was hard for us to stop the run today. For some reason, that was kind of our little Achilles. Ronald Jones hasn't looked that good since he was in USC. So I was a little concerned about that. But you know what? The win is a win. I'll take it. We'll do what we need to do. Jalen says Dirt needs to get the boot. A lot of people saying that. And remember, out of everybody that they talked about during the little pre-recorded, we're keeping folks thing, the only name you didn't hear that was in retention was Dirk Cutter. So some of y'all might get your wish. Henry, 30 for 30. That is ridiculous, right? 30 touchdowns and then 30 interceptions. That's absolutely crazy. Going back to Ronald Jones at Tampa Bay, 11 carries, 106 yards. Dude, he hadn't done that since he was in the Pac-10. For real. I mean, we did. Maybe we were sacrificing the run to limit Jameis in the pass. We did limit him to 201 yards. So if I was going to give up anything to Tampa Bay, I guess it would have been rushing. But at times it looked pretty bad out there. Brick, I felt optimistic and super excited once I see Debo running that ball back, rise up. It gives you hope, man. There's still some defensive players on this team. And maybe, just maybe, Dan Quinn isn't the person to coach them. He's going to stay here as a figurehead. He's going to stay here as the head coach. But there is something that Raheem or Ulbrich or whoever is doing that has stirred up in these guys how to play defense again. Yeah, nothing's ever going to be perfect as far as, the running game, we gave up a lot. But there is something different about the way this team played defense the second half of this season. You cannot deny that. Excuse me. Tidy says, Jameis still getting around $30 million from someone. May not be Tampa, but he will get it. This is what I think, Tidy. Don't you think, just like I know we've been talking a lot about Vic here on a prove-it deal, are you ready to guarantee? So if you're talking about $30 million, do you think somebody is ready to guarantee Jameis up to $60 to $70 million on a 4-year contract? Do you honestly think that? I see maybe a 2-year contract with an option, 2 years, first year guaranteed, second year option. Dude, in your 5th year as quarterback, you cannot throw 30 interceptions. I don't care how many 1,000 yards you throw. You cannot throw 30. You cannot throw 30 interceptions. And Jameis was just as guilty as Matt has done at times, looking right at the receiver. Debo read that perfectly. Deion Jones read that play perfectly. And perfect jump, did what he did, and that was just an awesome win, y'all. Demetrius said, did Vic get those 2 sacks? I missed the game. No, he did not. Vic was barely visible the whole game. I think Grady got the only sack, if I'm not mistaken. Let me slip down here. Defense and sacks. 1 sack, and that was Grady. Keisha, love my Falcons. We love them too, Keisha. Bob, how you doing, sir? Rise up, vet ATL. Jimmy said, I don't know, maybe a 1-year tag, but not worth $30 million. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And I hear you, Tidy, but you're right. there's always somebody. Just when we think the market, just like I'm telling y'all, if we don't sign Vic Beasley, I promise you somebody's going to sign him. Somebody's going to take a chance on a 3-year contract for maybe $30-something million with 20-something guaranteed up front. Somebody will do it. It's always somebody. Jaquan, what's going on, brother? 30 for 30. The season started. Starring Jameis Winston. Boy, y'all on fire today. Brother Herb, how you doing, my friend? Checked in, missed the game. Brother, you missed an exciting ending. Falcons were down, ended up scoring late, tying the game, send it into overtime. And then on the first play of overtime, Jameis giving us a handmade win. And I'm going to tell y'all something, too. Listen, give it up for my brother Koo. Listen, it was a time this year before the preseason. Everybody was talking about Matt Bryant. Please come back. Please come back. After Tavecchio was missing in preseason. Matt Bryant, please come back. That didn't work out. We overspent, and we got rid of him. Koo has done nothing but come in here and kick a plethora of field goals. Has he missed a couple? Absolutely. But these 5 field goal games, while a problem on offense, but at least you have somebody that you know that can give you that guaranteed 3. Let's put it this way. I know Tampa would love to have Mr. Koo on their team with their kicker kicking everything to the sides today. David, Jameis made some wild throws. Our DBs were in position. Can't fault that for that. Jameis Winston has good talent. Somebody, I was just disagreeing with somebody. Someone was saying he has uber talent. No, uber talent doesn't throw 30 interceptions. Jameis Winston is a very good athlete, and he can quarterback in the NFL. Don't get me wrong. But coming off of your 5th-year option, and your resume is to say, if you're going to a team to say, I want to quarterback your team, 5 years, 0 playoffs, and your last campaign, which is your 5th year, which should be your most solid year, you throw 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. That's not good. Timothy, how you doing, sir? This is the start of a new beginning. We've got a lot of changes on both sides of the ball next season. Me personally, I can't wait to see Rise Up. Andre, how you feeling, sir? Rise Up. Lisa, what's going on? Say, even our wins are dramatic, ready now for our offseason and see what moves this team made. The offseason is going to be interesting, folks. Your owner just gave the vote of confidence to the general manager and the head coach, saying he is trusting them going into the year. I'm trying to tell you, boy, they had better come through, man. Look, it's always Super Bowl or bust for me, but they've got to come through. Montoya, how you doing? Happy New Year, Merry Christmas to you, man. Say, whew, we won. Lisa, our offense kept stalling on drives, too many field goals today instead of touchdowns. I was frustrated with that. Join the club. Frank, rise up, Frank. Cedric, the offense looked horrible. I wouldn't mind going first round on another offensive lineman. Philip, yes, Vic will be signed, I think, in a 3-4 Thomas, how you feeling, sir? Team of destiny. Second half of the season, right? Toddy, young host 7, don't baby 7. And people don't want that man to wear 7. Y'all better let that man wear 7. They ain't there kick 7 field goals for you today. Y'all better keep that. Toddy says, Steve, in your opinion, what's the ideal offense for Matt Ryan? Play OC for the Falcons for a second. I tell you what, listen, a lot of today was on Matt. If y'all do like I do, and I know John Harris will have his film study, I'm sure. Hey, Julie, how you doing? Good to see you. Rise up. Matt held on to the ball way too much today, y'all. I'm not saying the offensive line didn't have their struggles. And Dominican Sue was having a field day. My man, Shaq Barrett was doing his thing. I'm not saying we didn't have our holes, but there were plenty of opportunities that Matt was not letting go of the ball. And I think, to me, that might be a Dirk Cutter thing, because these slow developing plays with the offensive line we have right now, we can't afford that. We don't have the offensive line to wait 4 to 5 seconds for everybody to eventually go where you need to go. That ball needs to be coming out. If you notice the little slant we've been giving the Gage and everything, I'm trying to tell y'all, Matt does not have the time. To answer your question, though, the ideal offense, I still think, is a West Coast offense where we're running the ball. We've got to run the ball. I need a 60-40 run to throw offense right now. And the zone blocking scheme, you got to have the right offensive line in there for that. I like the offense. Listen, did we go through some struggles this year? Absolutely. I like the rookies on the offensive line. Jake has been so spotty because when he looks bad, he looks bad. But there have been games where he's looked good. I would like to see possibly Dirk get one more year to see if he can work whatever he needs to work, get the personnel he needs to get in there, give the offensive line one more year to jail. I'm not willing to just totally throw him away. Does he have problems to fix? Absolutely. Does he need to be more creative? Absolutely. But Matt today held on to the ball way too much. 3 of those sacks were absolutely on Matt. You cannot hold the ball with that type of defensive front. The Tampa Bay's defensive front is no joke. Don't play. Them cats were coming. But you can't hold the ball that long, y'all. You can't do it. It's really crazy. Yeah, JPP had a really good day. Really good day. So Matt gave John Harris so much ammo. Dude, I know, Ty, I know you were thinking about that too, because we know how he is. Jay gonna stay in front of that camera all day. Lisa Wright, the Falcons football withdrawals are about to get real. Damian says play calls. Plays take too long to develop. You're agreeing with me. I agree. Jimmy, I can't even defend Matt today. We had 2 times where we should have got a 7 and come away with 3. And that's so frustrating. Thank you, Koo, for being able to take advantage of those plays. But this game shouldn't have come to that. Sands for a second quarter that you kind of gave Tampa a little life. That little fumble call, I know we won now. Somebody's going to have to explain that to me. I thought if you were pushing the ball forward, even if the ball isn't exactly in your hand, I guess they were explaining today that the ref was saying, the Dean Blandino was saying that the ball has to be in your hand and controlling it going forward. I just thought that was not a fumble. I think that was a momentum changer, and I think that helped Tampa Bay stay in the game. But for 3 quarters, they put up goose eggs, 3 quarters and 1 play of overtime. Tonio, what's going on? That Dirk, he's still stuck in the past with his play calling. Defense has gotten faster, and those Dirk plays have got to develop. I 100% agree. And that's the thing. I'm not defending Dirk to a sense to saying he was the greatest thing for Matt this year. But I will say what a lot of you all have been agreeing with. Continuity, when you're talking about an offensive coordinator, it helps. What happened the second year of Kyle Shanahan? What happened the second year of Sark? Everybody dogged Sark out. But the year that our defense was half hurt, Sark had a pretty good offensive year. Go check it out. Sark called a pretty good offense that year. So there's something to be said about not just giving totally up on the OC after 1 year. Does he have work to do? Absolutely. But I think I'm kind of on the fence about whether he leaves or stay. I'm not going to be mad if he leaves, but if he stays, let's see what happens. Rusty, how you doing, Rusty? These meaningless wins against bad teams install false hope. Not trying to be a downer, but it's frustrating. Say it with me, Steven. Hashtag Trevor Lawrence 2021. Tell y'all what, Trevor Lawrence, boy, let me tell y'all. Y'all say what y'all want to say. That dang Trevor Lawrence, boy, he juked some cats out of their shoes so bad last night. But he got some folks going home to their mama, and their mama ain't looking at him in the face. over at Ohio State. I say, y'all let that boy run all over y'all. Them long strides got down there. But Brother Chauncey, how you feeling, brother? I see you over here. Cutter needs to adjust to Matt. No, don't fire Dirt. Can't keep changing coordinators. Did we lose the effing game? I'm going to say it like Chauncey. Hold on. I'm going to go with my Chauncey. Damn, I don't have a hat. I ain't had a hat. Did we lose the cutting game? No, we didn't. We didn't do it. We didn't lose that. I love you, Chauncey. That's why I'm messing with you. I kid those that I love you, my man. But you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. Listen, the goal of any game is to win the game. Yes, do you clean up those mistakes? Absolutely. But to Chauncey's point, if you make the mistakes, you clean them up after the game. We won the game. Absolutely. Going into the new year, now he knows what he has to fix. But again, Chauncey, I agree with you. It's not all on Dirt Cutter. And Matt has got to. There were some plays there, man. You either got to throw the ball away, or you just have to get. If you see that line is coming in quicker than you were expecting, then you have to adjust and make some quick hitting plays. Gage is catching everything around him. Trying to tell y'all, bro, the most improved player on this team is one of the most improved players on this team is my brother Russell Gage. I'm telling y'all, we have a bona fide third receiver now. I'm telling y'all. Okay, let's get back. Dave, Matt missed throws today. Can't miss that slip screen to Gage. I know the one you're talking about. Exactly. That's my play. Yeah, that play, David, that play was either a touchdown or at least 20 yards. At least. Great, yeah. That was 6. Also, the one he threw at Hoot's feet on the last drive, inexcusable. And, being 35, 34, 36 years old, I understand you feel the heat. You've been feeling Vita Vea at the beginning, and Sue and Shaq Barrett, and hearing them feeling JPP. They all got a piece of you today. So maybe he had them with some of my older fans, some of them Bartkowski dancing feet that he had going on because he could feel that heat coming today. Now, near the end, when we had the 2 field goal drives, at least he was stepping up into the pocket and buying himself a little bit of time, because one of those passes, when he got out the pocket and threw it, was actually a really nice throw and kept everything going. I don't want to make this the bash Matt Ryan show, because at the end of the day, let's keep it real. Matt Ryan ended up 30 for 51, 313 yards, and 1 touchdown. Yeah, pedestrian, but still enough to win the game. No fumble. Again, still kind of questionable about that fumble, but that's that might not be his fault. I don't know. Keith said that was a borderline call. I hear you. Jonathan, on point. Ken Folk, how about that pick 6, brother? I was probably sweating. I probably had to wipe my little sweat off when I came in here. Dude, as a fan, whether you're 0-15 going into the last game or 13-1, dude, to see your team win a game on the last play of the game, there is no better feeling, man. There's no better feeling. I'd rather have that feeling right there than have Crab Legs throw a winning touchdown to some unknown receiver on the last play of the game. So, I'm saying, Mr. Glover, what's going on? Say, Cooter Scooter ain't worked today. Hey, I hear y'all. Listen, again, we'll listen in for tomorrow, because out of the people that they were talking about retaining, Dirk Cutler's name was the only one that nobody put oh yeah, Dirk will be back. So some of y'all might get your wish. We'll see. Jimmy says Bet's offense is play action. However, that only works with a solid run game. Keith Jackson says, okay, I got that. Sorry about that. Julie, I'm happy. I know Dirk is happy. Absolutely. Willie, what's going on, sir? How you feeling? Tonio, I like Dirk, always have. He just needs to learn how to use all that talent, and Matt has to learn how to extend plays, not saying run, just extend plays. I agree with you. He's the truth now. Absolutely. Tonio, Gage was always good. He got hurt preseason. That's the only reason I think we kept Sanu, in my opinion. And you know what? He did have some good preseason games last year, which is, I saw the potential in him. But listen, we got some decent little receiver. The one group I'm not worried about right now is our receiver group, because all those guys got a chance to get some taste this year and get some fire this year. All 5 of them, from Zacchaeus to Blake to Gage, and of course Ridley and Jones. Shoot, even we had a Justin Hardy, even though we were singing nah 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 hey goodbye to Mr. Hardy. I think we got Hardy not knowing how these receivers were going to develop, but this is definitely the last year you're going to see Justin Hardy. Glover says, man, we can get Swift or Etnet to drop down on us to the second round. Man, that little cat from Clemson, I don't know how they have him projected. I don't know. Daniel, I see you down the line. I'm about to get you in a second. Daniel, what are they projecting, my boy, at Clemson as far as the draft is concerned? I don't know if they're projecting him as a first round or second round. I tell you what, if he's available in the second round, I don't think you can waste him first round. First round has to be somebody in the trenches, whether it be offensive line or defensive line. But boy, oh boy, that little cat right there. Shoot, little what's my man name? J.K., was it Dobbins, whatever his name is, for Ohio State. That little guy was doing his thing, man. You got to give him credit. Willis said we need to hit that defense hard this offseason in free agency. Y'all also saw we freed up some money in free agency. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Armand, you see how they celebrated when Debo got that touchdown? Do you think that motivation would carry on into next season? Armand, we won the game in Tampa on the last play on a field goal last year. I thought that was going to lead into a renewed, more positive thing going into this season. I know this sounds, on the border, but I just don't know. I hope it does, but I hoped it was last year when we won that game with Matt Bryant, which we thought was kicking his last kick for us. I thought that was going to be something positive going into the year, but it didn't end up being that way. I don't know. I don't know it. I'm not ignoring the question. I honestly don't know. David, not one of these who want him gone, but he was not good today. I'm sure you're talking about Dirk. Daniel, rise up, brother. We currently sit at the 14th overall pick. Again, and I know you're not saying this to say that, Daniel. I don't want anybody to get fooled by that, y'all. There are still quality folks that's going to be at number 14. The one thing I do like that was said to us on Thursday, that Rich McKay is going to actually be a little bit more active in this organization. I know he was taking the time to do all of the things for the stadium and making sure everything was up. That's another set of eyes. And I'm not saying Rich McKay is the end-all, be-all, but he did help take a team to the Super Bowl as a GM. He did help get this team to a Super Bowl. Didn't finish the job, but he helped. It will be interesting to see if his influence, or maybe his ability to bring people in here to do a little better scouting, to do a little better evaluation, because that's what it's all about. There will be folks at 14. It's just a matter of if we pick the right one. Will it be Burrows? No. Will it be Young? No. Will it be Derek Brown? No. But there will be quality players. And I think with Rich McKay now in the mix, I think that's going to do nothing but help if those of you are worried about the same people making the picks over and over again. I think that is going to be a positive, in my opinion. Glover said we got to get Grady, a 6'2", 6'4", 340-pound DT for his running mate. Hey, I agree. What's the deal with Sanat? I would love to see what's going on with him. I know he spent a little time injured. Boy, that's going to turn out to be one of those wasted top three round picks too, because he was third round, right? Because that was supposed to be his little running partner, and that hasn't worked out this year. Willie said, now we need for Neal and Trufant to restructure their contract for next season. Well, Neal can't restructure his contract because he's on a 5th-year option, and judging by his injuries, there's no guarantee he may be on the roster. I trust and I think he will, but he may not. You never know. Daniel says Dirk will be back. Willie said them rookies on that offensive line are going to be better this year. Willie, I agree. You have to give offensive linemen time. You have to. You cannot just plug in rookies because they're 320 and 330 and think all of a sudden they're going to block seasoned defensive linemen. That dude today they were blocking in Dominican Sue, JPP, Shaq Barrett, even though I know he's new, and Vita Vea is relatively new. So, dude, that's a pretty solid D line that you were going against today. And yes, they sacked them 6 times, but I put about 3 or 4 of them sacks on Matt. Tonio said goodbye, Hardy. Yes, sir. Daniel, late 2nd round, early 3rd round. So if that's the case, if Edmond is there in possibly the 2nd round, and we have 2 of them, y'all. Remember, we got 2 2nd-round picks. And if you don't get kind of crazy and start doing that 1st and 2nd round to go up thing, that could be something to look forward to. Listen, we have 2 of them. Now, if you want to take those 2 and go up and get a talent like that, that's fine. I think the thing that scares me, even with the $12 million in salary cap that we recouped going into next year, we need to hit on as many of these draft picks as we can. Because even though we saved a little money and got a little bit behind the cap, we still need some money. If there's any thought to keeping Hooper, any thought to possibly keeping Campbell, if you're not going to keep those guys, you got to bring folks in here who can play day one. You got to bring people in here who can get coached up and folks who are ready to listen. And the way Raheem looks like he has that defense, folks, if we can just get a nice plug and play. Do we even think about cornerback? With the 2 guys have been playing good. True, is he coming back? And if you will, I think he'll be here. I'm pretty much 70% sure he'll be around. That's one veteran. You always want to have another veteran in there. Maybe a cornerback. Who knows? Dan says Raheem is that dude. He is. He is. Brick, what position you're drafting with the first 2 picks? Brick, I'm going first 2, man. I think I still got to go trenches, man. At 14, you get either the best D-line or the best O-line that you have on the board. And it really doesn't matter because you need to draft the center because Mac is not getting any younger. And you need to draft somebody either to replace, to get on that other guard position, or possibly another tackle to swing in there. You can probably never have enough offensive linemen because somebody's going to go down just like Lindstrom did, and you're going to need somebody solid in there playing. Matt Ryan works so much better when he has a little time. And if we can give him the time he needs with some of these receivers that we have, I think we'll be okay. Also, we need these offensive linemen to get this running game going. And I don't know how much part of that is the runners themselves or is part of that just the offensive line still learning how to gel. We've got to get the running game going. This is one of the reasons why it's not personal. Thank you, Devonta, for what you gave us for the first couple of years. But I don't see anything redeeming in keeping Devonta Freeman. I don't. I like him. I think he's a good dude. Every time I listen to him, I think he's good. But as far as production on the field, dude, we haven't got any since the Super Bowl. I dare somebody to pull them numbers up from the Super Bowl to here. I'd be surprised. Did he have 2,000 yards since he signed that gigantic contract in 2017, 18, and this year? Has he given us 2,000 yards? If he hasn't, that's what you call a bust contract. That's what you call Ray Lewis. Not Ray Lewis. What's my boy name? Ray Edwards. I'm sorry, Uncle Ray. If Thomas from UGA is still on the board in the first round, take him. He won't be there. Thomas will be gone in the first 8 or 9 picks. Now, big Isaiah will be there, but they're projecting him down in the second round. But Thomas will definitely not be there. They're saying he might be the first offensive line off the board. Yeah, Willie, that's what we were talking about, running back from Clemson. Sidarius said, we have something going on with our kicker. We do, but Sidarius, this time, let's bring somebody in there to push him. I heard somebody say last week, bring in my brother Blankenship from UGA to maybe push him. Why not? What do you have to lose? You have Koo, you have Blankenship. They'll push each other. Whoever wins that will be a better kicker for it. We didn't give Tavecchio any kind of, remember, we didn't have anybody else on the roster that could kick. For training camp, bring somebody in to push him. Now, I wouldn't waste a draft pick on Blankenship if you know he's not going to play. But that being said, bring somebody in there to push him. Willie, we probably move up from that 14 spot. I hope we do. Daniel, I see Freeman reconstructing his deal. Man, I don't see him getting cut. Now, if he restructures his deal to an amount where we can get that money, get the majority of that money back, maybe. But in the same deal, Daniel, aside of a couple of flashes, what is he giving us this year that we haven't seen from Brian Hill? I mean, remember, are we going to keep Ito too? Ito left us early this year. Are we going to keep him? Or do we go with that young running back in the second round or third round? Maybe so. But I don't know. Right now, December 29th at 5:28, I honestly, my thought is kick rocks on Freeman. You can find too many, just like we found him. You can find a nice running back for your fourth round pick, a third round pick. And again, remember, we're gonna lose somebody, whether it be Hoop, Vic, Campbell. So there's a supplemental coming along the way too. So I'm not sure, man. Darius, what do you think about Raheem Morris? I think he's done a great job. I think he deserves a shot at the DC. I was almost surprised because I thought he would get some shots at head coach with some of the openings happening. For those of you, Dallas just went up 13-3 on Washington. And Philadelphia at the moment is losing to the Giants 3-0. I'm sorry, they're up on the Giants 3-0. Sorry about that. Jim Wayne says Sanat is that. Sanat played a little bit today, but here's the problem, Willie. I hadn't seen him all year. I mean, I got to see him in there most of the year. He was inactive for the majority of the first few games, and I know he was injured at one time, but come on, man. Philip is Jimmy says True will be back. Yeah, I believe that too. Philip, is it too much money on the offensive line of the ball? So Hooper may be gone. I think they keep Campbell. They probably be able to keep Campbell on a lower contract, in my opinion. I think they'll be able to keep him. John Harris, whew, the death march is finally over. I knew you would come with such positivity today. I know there's probably that little 12-inch TV that you have on your wall that probably got knocked over when Debo ran that interception. I know it is. You probably got a picture, and I want you to show it to us when you get a chance to. David says, Andrew Thomas, if he's there at 14, time to see what we can get for Jake Matthews. He's not going to be there at 14, David. They're projecting that cat to be top 10, possibly even top 6. He's not going to be there. Tonio, everyone's forgetting about Ito. We can carry the load, and it's time to part with Free. Yeah, I didn't forget about Ito, but just like when Devonta went into his concussion mode, dude, them concussions set him out for the year. So when you get concussions that put you on IR for the year, that concerns me. And how long did it take Devonta to get over that concussion issue he had? It basically took almost an off season for him to come back, which Ito will have. But yeah, I get you. Timothy says, what do we do? What do we need to do to get Julio open more? Run the ball. Run the ball. Running the ball will open up this whole offense. If you remember Kyle Shanahan's offense, we ran the ball enough to keep the defense off balance a little bit. On downs, you wouldn't think we ran the ball. We'd throw a little sweep. Just keep them off balance. You have to keep defensive off balance. It got to a point today where the Falcons, because the run game wasn't working, they were just teeing off on the Falcons. When you go into an empty set, you're telling the whole world we can't run the ball. And that's what happened in the second half. And look, everybody can criticize my quarterback all they want to. They can criticize number 2 forever. I'm going to give you guys that. Number 2, man, that's a tough dude. He has missed 3 games since 2008, y'all. 3 games. He gets beat down like nobody's business. Thrown to the ground, beat in half, knocked in the back of the head, slammed on the ground, and still was able to come back and bring us down the field to score that game time field goal, man. Y'all don't give my quarterback any credit for anything. Y'all gotta give my quarterback credit for being tough, y'all. Matt Ryan, for as lanky as he looks and looks like he'll break like a toothpick, dude, three games missed in, was that 12 seasons? That's nothing to sneeze at, man. That's a tough dude. I know noodle arm. I know he can't throw it like he used to, and he's staring down receivers. Shoot, I criticize him today for not letting the ball go. But my quarterback can take some hits. And I got to have my quarterback in the game. The one thing you don't count on, that you can count on, is that Matt Ryan will get up. And he usually does. But to answer your question, Timothy, got to get our running game going, man. And I'm trying to see, does that answer your question a little bit? Because that'll pull your linebackers and your safeties up a little bit. And Julio is deadly if he gets behind that linebacker and gets that ball. Because you get Julio in the open with some of those safeties, the majority of the safeties in the NFL can't keep up with him. So that's my answer to that. You need to open up that running game. Darius, unless Allison becomes the second coming of Michael Turner, or we drafting one of the top 5 backs in the draft, Freeman is our best option as running back. Darius, I think we're going to draft a running back. I'm not sure if it's going to be the first pick or the second round, but we're going to draft a running back, I believe. I think Freeman's days are pretty much numbered. I really do. I don't think you're going to see much more from him. Brother Ricky, how you doing, sir? Said Jameis did what I knew he would do. Dude, he did what everybody thought he would do. I mean, there was something just in the air that said when we went to overtime and they won that coin toss, there was just something in my mind. I sat there and told my son, he about to throw an interception. And I didn't think it would be the first play, but God dog it if he did. Daniel says, I'm the GM, I lose Campbell. Yeah, listen, we do need another linebacker too. That's another need. I mean, Olaquan has been great. I just think great. He's been solid. But Debo needs another running partner at that linebacker position. Ricky says, no Free. Toddy says, Free my favorite player, but we still must cut him post June 1st. We need that $6.5 million in cap space. Absolutely. And also, again, we have some other defensive needs we have to think about because KZ is going to be coming up next year for next year under after his fourth year. So I don't know. I see you chimed in here, Daniel, talking about Jonathan Taylor. Yeah, listen, that's another one. Jonathan Taylor, I think I saw the project. I didn't see first round on him. I thought I saw second round on him. I'm a little surprised. I saw somebody else make a comment about Allison today, and I don't know what kept him in the doghouse or whatever. Maybe, I don't know. He didn't run as hard today. I don't know whether he was hurt. I've seen him run better. It's going to be kind of interesting. He stayed on the inactive list the first 8 weeks, and we gave him a little run. Obviously got a couple of touchdowns in close. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with Allison. Ricky says, I believe Free and Vic. Ricky said, Morris is off the chain. This defense kept us in this. Yes, they did. It said, we cut Free, get Jonathan Taylor. Monteria says, can we tag Campbell? Not sure you want to tag him because that's going to cost you probably. Tidy, I know it. Listen, dude, I put you to work, man. That tag on a linebacker, that's going to get us. That's going to be at least about $8 million, right? Maybe about $8 million. I don't see them paying him top 5 pay for a linebacker, not Campbell. He's been solid. He led the team in tackles this year. I don't see us putting a tag. Matter of fact, I honestly don't see us putting a tag on anybody this year. Ricky says, 4th in a row. If Ito can stay away from those, we can get our same young running back core. Maybe so. Toddy, I don't trust Ito can carry the load. We're going to have to draft another running back or sign a veteran at a bargain price. And maybe that's what we look for, a veteran. Who was that talking to me earlier this week about Adrian Peterson at 1.5 or 1.8 million? I don't think you do that with somebody like Adrian, but at the same time, if there's another solid running back that you can get in here on one of those Steven Jackson veteran contracts, 1 year, $2 million, 1 year, 3 million. We need a running back that can absorb 15 carries. We just didn't have that this year. And for all of Devonta today, looking on here, Devonta, listen to these running stats, y'all. Devonta, 18 for 58, 3.2. Brian Hill, 5 carries, 21 yards, 4.2 average. Quadri Allison, 4 carries, 9 yards. I mean, yes, you're running the ball. The carries are more important, but I need at least 4 yards a carry. We averaged as a team today 2.9 yards a carry. And so when my man was talking earlier about how do you get Julio open and how do you open up open him up, dude, the running game opens up play action pass. When you have play action pass, then that's when you put your weapons in motion. And when you're talking Julio, Ridley, Gage, Blake, Zacchaeus, I mean, we have some talent there, y'all. And shoot, now add Zambrello to the list. Man, let me tell you something. He made big people like me very proud that he could run 35 yards down the field, I almost shed a tear because I think about a young Steve as if I could run that fast at 300. But that was actually an awesome play that they did. So for those of you dog and dirt, give them credit for one play. That was a big play at the end down there. He said, Ricky said, but that O-line looked like trash. We were talking about that a little bit. Yes and no. They weren't the greatest today. Matt didn't help them at all today either. Matt can't throw the ball if every time the ball gets snapped, the entire O-line is at his ankles, but they weren't today. Oh, look at that. It wasn't like there was speed rushing in there today. They were pushing them back. But there are a couple of times Matt has to let that thing go, man. You got to let that ball go. You can't sit there and just watch the guys come at you. Hey, JPP. And they were doing a great job of throwing their hands up today. How many batted balls did we get today? Daniel says Jonathan Taylor better be a Falcon if we cut free. That'd be a good move if we could. At least we know he could absorb. Only thing that worries me about folks like that is that Taylor takes a lot of carries. He took a lot of carries in college. And a lot of times those guys that take a lot of carries in college transfer over to NFL, especially the first year. And most of the time, they're kind of so-so. I really like to see us go out and get somebody like him, but Taylor carries the ball quite a bit. Terrell, he wouldn't have to take all of them hits if his legs worked. You're right about that. Well, his legs worked a little bit. He stepped up a couple of times. Give credit where credit is due. He stepped up on a couple of those plays, especially near the end when we were driving to score the tying field goals. Got to give him credit a little bit. David Stark, keywords, my quarterback. Hey, man, I call it like I see it. That is my quarterback. Tidy, Julio got to find a way to play more snaps this season. 22 million reasons why. Sorry, not sorry. Love you, Jet. But I'm just saying, Tidy, you're doing something that I have done and people have responded negatively that I've done this year. In a season that's, let's face it, y'all, we have a good taste in our mouth about today. This is a losing campaign. And when you're the second highest paid player on the team and 30 to 40% of our posts on all these sports Facebook groups and YouTube are talking about the inability of Matt to throw the ball, noodle arm, then I got to call out my receiver too. I can't sit here and ignore my receiver. He's getting paid $22 million. When you get paid $22 million, I'm trying to tell y'all that you got to be accountable. You got to be accountable. I see a couple of it go over here to YouTube. Jameis ended the season in the most perfect way possible. Absolutely. UBF says, honestly, I feel like Atlanta could be really good next season if they carry their momentum. So, I hear that. Going back down here, it says DeAndre Swift and Edelman would fit our Falcons so much. Yeah, I listen. Look, those would be great picks for us. Swift, I don't think will be in the contest for Swift. Let me see what my man from Clemson, how far down he's going to do. Tidy said we got to cut Alex Mack too. We need that $8 million in cap space. That's why, Tidy, we might need to get one of those transition guard / center, somebody who can be interchangeable in the draft too. We have to find the heir apparent for Alex Mack. Even if Alex stays one more year, maybe Alex might put a little money back in our pockets too. I don't know. He's a little late in the game, but we have to find the heir apparent for Matt. We cannot go into next season with just him toting the load the whole that game because it's going to be the Wes Schreiber show, and we definitely don't. We don't want that again. Ricky, I think we're going to get a quarterback in the 4th round. Steve, I think we are too. Khalil Tate. Say it. Yeah. Daniel, $20 million in cap space if Matt is cut. That's a good move. Chuba Hubbard is a guy to keep an eye on. Yes, sir. Monteris Pope, he can't block well. Allison, maybe that's what it is then. Maybe that's what it is. Thank you, Monteris. Maybe that's why he doesn't get run. Philip, I take Chuba Hubbard from OK State if he decides to come out. Oh, I thought he was a senior. He's a junior? Okay, I didn't realize he was a junior. Okay. John says Jake Matthews has got to go. He is the weakest link. I don't know about the weakest link. I think the weakest link came from those 2 free agents we got from the Jets this year. Neither Carpenter or Brown turned out to be what we thought they were going to be coming into the year. I thought they were both going to add some stability to the offensive line, and we regressed big time. Tight end would only cost us $15.4 million to tag Andre Campbell next year. Not happening. Yeah, 15.4. Yeah, I was giving a lot of credit. You can't tag him. I don't even think there are any tag candidates this year at all for the Falcons. John, and why is Sambrello and Schweitzer still here? Sambrello is here because he's scoring 35-yard touchdowns. That's why, John Harris. Questioning me about my offensive lineman. That's why he's here. Yes, I joke. We not messing with each other. Oh, man. Andrew need to go deep to Julio way more. Couldn't go deep to him today, Andrew, because I don't think Julio was going to make it. Julio looked like he was on death's door like 3 or 4 times. Now, I will say this, too. Let me make this comment. That was a horrible field in Tampa Bay today. Now, I don't know whether it had been raining or not, but them cats were slipping all over the place. Not just the Falcons, but Tampa Bay too. Now, I couldn't tell. It looked like it was kind of sunny out there. So I'm wondering, was the drainage system not working or something like that? But I saw cats slipping and sliding like they were doing slip and slides all over the field. That was not a good field. Andrew, nobody can stop Julio. They can't stop him when he's 100% or 90%. I don't think he was either today. Ricky, but we're still not using Allison like we should. But back to my buddy Montarius's deal. If you're not blocking, I don't need you in the game. I don't care how talented you are as a running back, because I need you to block. If you can't block, you can't get in the game. Tidy and for kicks and giggles, it would cost us $10 million to franchise tag Hooper. Dude, I just don't see it. I don't see us going that route. I hope Jalen Graham goes with Matt Ryan on his receivers camp this year and learn some good tricks of the trade, because I just don't see us paying that much money for Hooper. I don't. Unless there are moves to be made that we don't know about yet. If there's some Freeman cuts or some Trufant cuts or restructuring or other things like that, barring that, I cannot see them paying Hooper $10+ million a year, man. We got too many holes. Andrew, great play call to get Tampa back for the Vita touchdown. That was kind of a get you back thing. Anthony, 5 batted balls today. We got to do much better in that situation. We do. Matt did hold the ball too long, though, Steve. He did. Like I said, John Harris would be proud of that observation today. He did. Tidy, do you think Lindstrom can move over and play center? Do you want to? Man. I like him at that guard position, but you know what, though, Tidy? At this point, you might want to get him practicing hiking the ball a little bit and maybe going into the draft and getting another guard. I mean, it's something to think about. I would not. Right now, the last few games, he had been playing some of the best offensive line, even though if you look at Pro Football Focus, they were acting like Jake Matthews was the cat's meow the last couple of weeks. Glover said it's going to hurt me, but who gone. Yeah, I believe it. Timothy, a friend of mine said that we don't draft enough from the SEC. Agree or agree? I know a lot of people play that game. We need to draft people from Georgia. They don't draft people from Alabama, Auburn. Dude, you draft the best people on the board. There is no guarantee that if I draft Jimmy Lee Sickle from Auburn or Jamal Williams from Mississippi, that he's going to be a better player than some cat in the Pac-10. I know the Pac-10 has not played the greatest ball as a league together, but you know what? I mean, there are good players on the West Coast, East Coast. Again, I just need whoever's evaluating. I don't care if they're from the SEC, ACC, Big Ten. I leave that argument for a lot of you college gurus. And are there the better teams seem to be from the SEC? Absolutely. But that doesn't mean you go down the roster and pick everybody just because they're in the SEC, just because they play for UGA. That's ridiculous. Kelly Bryant in the 4th round this year. Kelly Bryant would be an interesting prospect. I can see them looking at him. That's not a bad call. Terrell, I say no to Swift, and I'm a diehard UGA. Swift is nice. But I just think Swift is going to be gone, and I think Swift is going to be gone earlier. Ricky says, oh, my God, yes, they were the weakest links. Rusty, O-line, D-line, halfback, first 3 picks. We should have traded Hooper before the deadline. We might have gotten a second for him. I don't see how we could possibly pay him around $10 million per year. Considering how much money we have invested in Julio and Ryan, it just seems like too much money. I see it too, but I also didn't see Ryan and who was it? They said who else was it that restructured? Was it Ryan and was it Grady? Was it Ryan and Grady that restructured their thing? I mean, there are things that probably haven't been done yet that we're going to see here in the next few weeks, probably past the Super Bowl. So let's not think that the situation we have right now monetarily is going to be the same one when the offseason starts and when free agency is able to kick off. We're going to get a free agent. It's just a matter of whether we do like last year and get a couple of cheap free agents, or are we going to get somebody legitimate that's going to come in here and start from day one. Ricky, we still need about 3 more on the O-line. The field was just like Jameis Winston garbage. Montarius, they played a rugby game at Raymond James a few days before. Really? All right, that might answer the question. Yeah, that was horrible. That was horrible. Steve, Rich McKay said, we don't have a salary cap problem, bro. Maybe, but you know what, Ricky? Maybe he knows some things that we don't know. Maybe he knows some moves that they're about to make that we're not aware of. So he would definitely know before you and I would. Now I want to see how that works when we have all these free agents this year. What about Jacob Eason? Somebody else mentioned Jacob Eason. I like him too. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. He might go a little high too for my taste. We're not getting a quarterback in the first 3 rounds. So I think Eason will be off the board by then. The Jackson 6, what are our immediate goals and who do we get rid of? Our immediate needs is solidifying the offensive line, finding a legitimate defensive edge rusher, and, in my opinion, look for the future. And when I say look for the future, your quarterback and your running back positions have to be upgraded. I think the wide receiver group is the only group on the team that I don't think you touch. I don't think you touch anything you have. Draft-wise, immediately, we've got to get better on the offensive line. We've got to have somebody that's going to put some pressure on the edges. Probably need one more person to go in the middle. Is Big Jack, is this his last year on contract? It might be his last year on contract. If this is his last year, you got to find a defensive tackle that's going to get in there and give he and Grady a push up the middle. Grady is just in need of a dancing partner. He's been dancing solo in the middle for the last couple of years, and he's just been begging to have somebody in there. I know they thought Rashid Hagelman was going to work out. Obviously, whatever's been going on with him has not worked out. Grady needs help inside. He needs help on the edges, more importantly, but he needs another dance partner inside. Tyler Davidson has been pretty decent when he's been in there, but I like to see them get a bona fide twin D tackle in there with Grady. Maybe that push up the middle will help the guys on the edge. I don't know. But Grady needs some help. Grady is playing. Grady is Grady is probably our MVP this year. Consistent play, consistently holding up that defense. I think he might be at least my thought for MVP this year. David, if we can't keep Hoop, I would be looking at the Komet kid at Notre Dame. You know what? That guy was he had a pretty decent game when he came here, didn't he? I think that's the same guy from Notre Dame. Ricky, Ryan, Julio, and Grady, they restructured. I didn't know Julio restructured. Ricky, I know we want the prototype hybrid run pass quarterback, but it would be hard to get that in the later rounds. But listen, everybody's getting ahead of themselves on that. Dude, Lamar Jackson is awesome. He's having an awesome year. You don't have to have a Lamar Jackson to do what you need to do. Mahomes is an athletic quarterback who can get outside the pocket, as is Aaron Rodgers, as is the little guy from Buffalo, Josh Allen. You don't have to have the hybrid. Just have somebody athletic enough to get out of those situations, to duck out of the way, to get on the outside and be able to make moves when the play breaks down. That's the kind of quarterback I want. I don't have to have somebody that runs the ball for 80 yards a game. And that's great that Lamar is doing this, but I'm telling you, all it's going to take, y'all, is one good hit. And all the Lamar Jackson stuff, and I'm not wishing this on the young man, but I'm saying all it's going to take is one big hit. And all the stuff about running quarterback and all that stuff will go right back to, we need somebody in that pocket to stay behind the line. I'm telling you, it goes in waves, y'all. Right now, we're on the wave of the Lamar Jackson thing because he is the hottest thing going, and his team is 13-2. But I don't care about that hybrid. I don't have to have a hybrid. I just want an athletic quarterback. Look at, if everybody talk about Trevor Lawrence, look at Trevor last night. Trevor is not a running quarterback. But he goddamn sure running that ball last night. That boy, them long legs. I felt like I was at the Kentucky. And he's coming around the leg. Look at those strides coming up. That boy has a long strides. That's a big boy. Titus says Jack Crawford is officially an unrestricted free agent now. Well, he's not going to be back, I don't think, because he'll probably ask for more money. I like Jack. He was solid for us and would have been nice. Willie says edge, DT, running back, quarterback late. That sounds like a good plan. Rick says, no, we don't. I don't know what. I'll get back to see what you're talking about. Tidy, Julio has not restructured his new contract as of today. That was Ryan and Gray. Yeah, I was wondering that. I didn't see that where Julio had restructured his. Jimmy says, I like Marlon Davidson from Auburn in the second round to pair with Grady. And now, if that's the other big boy that I see in there with Auburn, now I thought, is he a junior, Jimmy? Chime back in. I thought he was. Is he a junior or is he a senior? I thought he was a junior. I know it's somebody else in the line next to Brown. If that's the cat next to him, yeah, I would love that. I would take that if he's available. Ricky, but with Falcons fans, that's all they want. Ricky, a hybrid quarterback. Yeah. Listen, anything that looks good. At the game yesterday, Justin Fields makes a good play. That's what the Falcons should have. Trevor Lawrence comes back. That's what the Falcons should have. Joe Burrow throws 7 touchdowns in the first half. That's what the Falcons should have. Listen, everybody wants something that's winning. I understand that. But there are pieces on this team that, if coached correctly and if put in the correct situations, can equate to a winning squad. We just need to put it in play earlier than November and December. In the last 2 years, we're probably the best team in the NFL after November. Unfortunately, that doesn't do us any good this year. We're in second place again, 7-9. Second year in a row. Are you crazy? That is absolutely weird. Willie, the Falcons have had a lot of one-year deals on this team this year, and it will free up a little more money than we do. Ricky, they're talking about Raheem Morris and the turnaround on the Falcons defense in the last 8 games on the NFL red zone. They should. Like I said, they made him a DC because they said they might be able to block him. They know people are going to ask him to be head coach. Trevor Lawrence is going to be the next great white hope, just like watching play Tom Brady Peyton. Why you gotta be a great white hope? Dude, he's just a great quarterback, man. Y'all need to get off color stuff, man. Y'all leave that stuff alone. Willie, he is a junior. Okay, if he comes out, that would be somebody to look at there, Willie. And I know exactly who you're talking about. That would actually be a nice young fit there. Now, if he hasn't declared, I don't know if he is coming out. He said he's coming out. Okay. Thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate that. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be bad because he got a little motor on him too. I would love to get Brown though. That would be a nice pick to come up there and get him. DC6. Do you think DQ keeping the OC and DC in place? And what do you think about our play calling? I think our offensive play calling has been inconsistent at best. There have been flashes where we were pretty good, and then there have been more times that you're scratching your head about what we're doing. The defensive play calling in the last 8 games has been pretty consistent, and as long as we can keep that aspect in play, I think we'll be fine. And now that we know Morris has been kind of the man behind that, I think that we'll be in good shape. I would like better for our play calling. I would. Offensively, especially offensively. We have way too many folks that can catch the ball and do things in space for us to be wasting right now with our $30 million quarterback. Ricky, saying how the Falcons have a top 10 defense now. Yeah, it's empty to me without playing in January, though. And it is. I'm hoping that we take the time this year to just reevaluate everybody up and down. We have a lot of work to do as a Falcon team. And I think Rich McKay being back in the mix now, that's going to help. That's going to help us going into next year's draft. I think that's a different set of eyes that we're talking about. And I really think we're going to be in a better position than we were draft-wise because I think Rich McKay is the truth. Keep it up on the second half scores right now. Baltimore, even with second string in there, even with RG3 in at quarterback, is up, excuse me, y'all, 16-7 on Pittsburgh. Dallas is 20-10 on Washington, but it doesn't mean anything because Philadelphia is up 10-3 on the Giants at the beginning of the half. Indianapolis up 20-16 on a no-nothing game. Tennessee has just scored another touchdown against the Texans. Texans don't have to play for anything. They have the division. They know they're going to be the 4th seed. So pretty much a nothing game for them. Rams in another nothing game, 14-10 over Arizona. Denver up 10-3 on Oakland. Big game tonight, San Francisco against Seattle. And for those of us who are just wondering about our hated rivals, New Orleans, they did win their game going away against Carolina. However, because of the Green Bay win, they could be looking at a wild card weekend game if San Francisco takes care of business. JP says, still a disappointing season, went out with a big ass bang. We played like some underconfident underachievers. The DQ Dimitrov situation, I still think they need to go. We need to clean house in the front office with a new smart football-minded staff. Your thoughts? P.S. Rise up. Rise up, my friend. And here's the thing, JP. Going into Thursday, before Thursday morning, I absolutely agree with everything you said. I don't think we probably, if it was up to me and I had a vote, I don't think we keep Dan Quinn. And I don't think we keep Thomas Dimitrov. I think Dan Quinn has showed for the last couple of years he has not had the ability to get this team focused to start the year. These last second save the coach games have been, admirable, but why can't you get that same effort in games 1 through 8 than you're getting through 9 through 16? Yes, I know November and December counts, but dang, you probably need to get he said, sorry for cursing. Nah, it's all good, bro. I'll allow 1 or 2 every now and then. But as far as your analysis, 100% I agree. Here's my deal. What's done is done now. I can go into the off season and cry and everything about what they should have done, would have done, but there are going to be no changes made between December 29th and September whatever when they kick off the season. So I'm kind of regulated into saying I'm going to dig in with the team we have now. Am I still going to be critical? Yes. And I expect you, JP, to be in here and be critical as well. And we will continue to be critical of our team until we get that Lombardi that was stolen from us in Houston a couple of years ago. But I just think if it was up to me, I would have made the move. But what's done is done. I can't do anything about it now. But good thoughts, though. Very good thoughts. Alan, rise up, my brother. Ride or die. We always say there's next year. Get them Atlanta. That's the attitude you take as a fan, man. That's attitude you take. Willie says, you check that kid out at Iowa, the DN. No, I haven't. Yeah, listen, I want y'all to give me start giving me some names, man, because what I do, I always go back and look at these posts, not only to reply to you all, but to kind of start looking at folks that you all are talking about. I know y'all been hearing me talk about Khalil Tate. I'm hoping some of y'all have gone back and looked and y'all see what I'm talking about. Is he going to remind you of any of the big-time guys going right now? No. But he looks like somebody that might be a diamond in the rough. Now, I don't know if it's a dirt cutter that might be able to mold him, but the right offensive coordinator can turn that cat into Russell Wilson. I'm telling you, go watch his tape. Tidy says, next year is critical, Steve. Knock on wood. But if we have another losing season, then we must do a complete rebuild, which I know you're not a huge fan of. Tidy, truer words haven't been spoken. You're gambling this year on this same leadership to do what you haven't done for the past 2 seasons. If you fail in 2020, you have set this franchise back at least, what did you say, Tidy, 3 to 4 years? You set this franchise back if we don't win. And when I say win, I'm not talking about slipping the playoffs at 9 and 7. You have to win at a significant clip. We need to either be challenging or winning the division in the NFC South and making a Super Bowl run, because Jet is not getting any younger. If we keep Free as a running back, which running backs have 5 to 6 year shelf life now, he's not getting any younger. Matt is definitely not getting any younger. Alex Mack might be on Social Security by the time we finish with him. So we need to do this next year. If we're not successful next year, you are absolutely right, Ty, to get one of those dynamite things from the Coyote and the Road Runner and just push the TNT down, and you've got to blow it up because you bet one more time. You went right there on that roulette wheel one more time, and you put your money down on the table and you bet in the house. And I, that's what it is. Willie, if Dan Quinn starts off at 0-2 or 0-3, we have to pull the plug like ASAP. Listen, 0-3, absolutely. Yeah, 0-3, you can't wait for Dan Quinn to change because Dan Quinn is not going to change. We've seen that the last 2 years. He has showed us that he is not going to change. He's going to dig in with his philosophy. And it probably took somebody at the bye week. And you know what? Probably it was Raheem. Dan Quinn was probably sitting around talking to Realtor.com realizing where he was going to be. And Raheem came in there like, hey, Dan, hey, bro, you might want to change some things up because you might be gone this bye week instead of later on. And we can't allow that to happen. So you're right, Willie. One more 0-3. You're right. Defensive end AJ Espina or something like that. I did not see him, and thank you for bringing his name up. I'm definitely going to look that up. Thank you, Brother Glover. JP, I will be critical, my brother. Check out my last name, the traits of a Virgo that can be a gift and a curse. But another thing I think we strictly and strongly need to work on is specific high percentage effective running game, like a 98 Broncos running game with a fullback. Now, I will say this: the brother, I like the little young dude, the Keith Smith guy. He's a good little dude. He's playing some good fullback, and we started implementing that fullback a lot more in the second half than we did the first half. So to JP's point, we absolutely need to see an improvement in our run game. JP can't wait to see the 2020 schedule. Well, we know who we're playing. I guess it's a matter of where we're going. I guess it decided today. So now we're second place. So that means we're going to play. Next year we play the North. So that means we're either going to play Dallas or Philadelphia. And we're going to play in the West. It's either going to be Seattle or San Francisco. So whoever finished second in both of those divisions, that will be who we play. We also play the AFC West this year. So that'll be Vegas here, Denver here, and we go to LA and we go to Kansas City. And then we have the international game, which we don't know where that's going to be. Willie, at least 14-2, 13-3 at best, and home field advantage throughout the playoffs next year and Super Bowl. Dude, that's the way you got to think. And the way that Arthur Blank came out and gave these guys the biggest pat on the back about 5-2. You heard 5-2 in that little recording more than you heard anything else. 5-2, 5-2. 5-2, listen, 5-2 does not make a season. 5-2. If you've been 5-2 in the second half and 5-2 in the first half, then let's talk. But right now, 5-2 doesn't get you anything. Not in my book. So, yeah, we need to definitely do a little bit better work going into the season. One of the things we'll talk about tomorrow when we come on, and that'll be probably our last broadcast of the year tomorrow. I'll be looking for MVPs of the year, biggest Falcon moments, biggest moments of the year. JP, you're on it. And I promise you, I started saying that before I saw your thing. I'm actually going to go over that tomorrow. Please join me tomorrow. I will probably be on at 6 o'clock tomorrow. I'll post exactly when I come on. So hold that thought if you can. Hold that thought if you can. We'll talk about it with everybody here with us. We'll have favorite moments of the year, MVP of the year, and what's your goal going into 2020? My goal is Super Bowl. Matter of fact, you can ask me my goal for the last 30 years for this franchise. I don't care what the records are. It's Super Bowl. And today, it ain't the Super Bowl, but it's still a win over the divisional opponent. Great win today. Atlanta, 28 crab legs in the game, 22 on a pick six to end the game by Deion Jones this year. Thank y'all, everybody, for joining me today. Y'all have a great day. Fellas, ladies, y'all rise up, and we'll catch y'all in here tomorrow. I'll post and let y'all know when we come in here, okay? Take care of yourself. Have a great day. Be blessed. Rise up, rise up, rise